In this video, I'll be showing you how you can accelerate your product research and selection process by using this tool known as Profit Phoenix. So below this video, you'll see a link or a button that you can click to get a 30-day free trial to Profit Phoenix. Profit Phoenix is normally $50 a month to get access to the software. However, I've partnered with them and you can actually get your first month free. So normally actually they require you to pay $1 and you only get 14 days of access. For you exclusively you get 30 days of access for free. It's a requirement for them when you sign up that you fill out your credit card information. So once you actually get to that page, you will need to fill out your credit card information, but you won't be charged anything for the first 30 days, and you can cancel anytime. So if you just want to, use the tool right now to help you accelerate this process, use it for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, and then decide to cancel, you can do that. You can notify them that you don't want to be auto charged for the, any months in the future. Profit Phoenix will also email you some reminders several days ahead of time before the auto charge happens for the second month. So honestly, you have nothing to worry about. Don't worry that you have to fill out your credit card information. Just go ahead and do it, because this is a very powerful software that if you compare the previous video's process, at least the first part of the process, and then look at this process, it's much quicker, it's much more efficient, and much more effective. So once you sign up for your free trial, you'll get your login details, and then you'll be able to log in. And when you log into Profit Phoenix, this is the screen that you should see. So we're going to go ahead and use the product finder tool. And as you can see, based on our criteria, based on the criteria I taught you in the previous videos in this module, you can actually enter the criteria here in this chart. And based on that, it will populate certain results. So let's say we're looking again in kitchen and dining, and our rank, we want it to be between 1000 and 5000 BSR. Okay, so rank refers to BSR. Price, we want it to be, let's say, between $14.99. And I always like to, if I'm looking for 15 and 50, then I always like to put $14.99. Or if I'm looking between 20 and 50, then I like to put $19.99. So always put the 1 cent below whatever your minimum is. I think a lot of products, are priced at that 1 cent below mark of that whole number. So that's why I recommend you do that. Rating, this refers to the average review rating. I like to not fill anything out here. The reviews, you can put a maximum of, let's say, 500 reviews. And weight, make sure to enter 0.1 in the minimum. For whatever reason, sometimes the software malfunctions or doesn't work properly if you don't enter anything here. So instead of 0 or entering nothing, just put 0.1. And for your maximum, let's just say we're looking for something under 2 pounds. And then click search. Once you click search, scroll down on the same screen. It's not going to populate a new page or load a new page or anything. All you need to do is scroll down, and you should see a list of results, a chart. And if you scroll down all the way, you'll actually notice that there are 55 entries. Okay, so this is pretty amazing. Instead of going through the Amazon bestsellers and going through categories and subcategories and looking through hundreds to thousands of products, you have already, just by filling out this chart and by selecting what category you want to look into, already narrowed it down to only 55 choices here, 55 entries. So now all you have to do is basically look at this, look at the price, look at the weight, the reviews and everything, and figure out whether or not it would be a good opportunity based on our criteria. Okay, so let's go through the list. And again, this is a very raw video. I haven't planned anything ahead. I'm looking at this pretty much the first time, just like you are, so bear with me. So we go through this list, and let's see. Okay, so this looks interesting right here. Silicone spoons. So these are probably baby's first stage. Yeah, so these are silicone spoons. It's a set of 4 for babies. So we know that it already meets our preliminary criteria of price and of BSR, right? Because we did that on Profit Phoenix. So here you can see 2617 in baby. Okay, sometimes you may see the product details or product information format look different. So typically we saw the kind of one row, and we could see the BSR somewhere here, but some categories you may see it look like this. So 2617 in baby, and the weight is it meets our criteria. Also the price meets our criteria of $19.95. So now what we do, as we did in the first video, or excuse me, the previous video in which we went through the entire process, we basically search this silicone spoons baby. And we basically now follow the exact same process that we did in the previous video. Okay, so this will save you like 50% of your time. So even though you still have to do the remaining manual process the same way we did it in the last video, at the very least, it saves you that entire hassle and process of going through all the categories and subcategories and categories on Amazon. Okay, so again, when I'm not going to go through the entire process again, the manual process of what we look at, but just look at the results. Look at the BSRs. Look at the optimization. Go to merchant words. Look at the profit potential. The profit margin using the FBA revenue calculator. Do all that stuff that we mentioned in the last video. But again, the reason I recommend using Profit Phoenix, especially if you can use it for free for 30 days, is it'll save you a lot of time in finding the initial products, finding the products initially, and then getting into the manual side of it. Another thing here is you can see the trends. So this, is integrated with camel, camel, camel. So if you hover over this camel, you can actually see the product trends. So again, what I also recommend with Profit Phoenix is that every single time you search for something, make your search a little bit different, because that will increase the array of results that you can get with this software. And you want to try to find as many different products that you can, and that's why you need to try some different possibilities here. So for example, instead of 1,000 and 5,000, let's say I wanted to narrow this down really, really well, and I said 1999 and let's say 40. Here, let's say I wanted only 300 reviews and I wanted the weight to be 1 pound. Okay, so these search criteria now are much, much narrower than what I did the first time. So I'm going to click search, and because I searched them differently now, I only get 3 results. Okay, but the thing is that one of these 3 may actually be good. So but in this case, it seems like I made it too narrow. So again, I'll make it a little bit broader this time, maybe 400 reviews. Price and rank I'll keep the same, let's just say. Okay, so now it comes up with 7 results. So again, try it out, test it out, see whatever works. You can again go 1 to 5,000. You can go, $14.99 to 25, 500 reviews, and again, just keep changing it up, because every single time you do it, you'll get some new results. You might find a couple of products that you didn't see on the previous search that you did with different criteria. And of course, I'm only searching inside one category, kitchen and dining. I can easily, select another category. Or another awesome thing you can do here that you couldn't do in part of the manual process is you can actually search multiple categories at once. Okay, that's pretty cool, and that's very efficient, and it makes this process so much more efficient. Is, if I wanted to look into baby and I wanted to look into, let's say home and kitchen. So now I have selected 3 different categories, and I have all my criteria still set here, and I'm going to go ahead and click search, and now across all 3 categories it's searching. Right, so some some products here you see are in the baby category, some you see are in home and kitchen, some you'll see kitchen and dining. So now all across all 3 categories it's searching for me. And you can select as many categories you want or as few as you want. So again, this makes that initial part of the process very, very effective and efficient, and I strongly advise you to sign up for that free trial. Not only will this help you right now, but there are many other tools that it offers that you can use later in this process, which we'll discuss as the time comes. Another thing I wanted to point out is the market research tool. This is is supposed to assist or help you in the second part of the process. So for example, silicone spoons baby. If you found that product and it looked like a potentially good product using the product finder tool, you would come to the market research tool, you would search that keyword silicone spoons baby, and when you click search, it'll actually bring up pretty much the same results that would come up on Amazon. So it's going to give you the top 20 results. It even gives you a small chart here. In my opinion, this is not the best tool to use. I would rather go the manual route that we discussed in the previous video, because even though these 2 things look nice and it populates it automatically for you, the criteria that it's using actually shows up. The top 3 sales rank is less than 750. The competition the total reviews is between 300 and 600. So the algorithm here is very simplistic, in my opinion, and is not necessarily effective in identifying or determining whether or not this is a good opportunity or not. I'd much rather go manually to Amazon.com, look at all of the different products and search results that come up, the top 5 or whatever, go through everything we did in the last video and then put it on your spreadsheet if it meets those criteria. So I wouldn't necessarily use the market research tool. Again, I think it's simplistic and it needs to be improved in terms of the algorithm and the criteria that they're using, to give you these, high demand, moderate competition, and even this chart is a bit simplistic in my opinion. It doesn't necessarily offer much value in terms of making your decision. Okay, so again, use the product finder tool, very powerful, and then get into the manual process that we discussed in the previous video.